Hey, what's up, pups? Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. It was a podcast that was made out of pure rage because my friend got canceled from voice acting. I know I'm coming in hot right away,
You
but
are. It's very hot.
very hot, like that Hollywood Undead song that I listened to on repeat. Coming in hot, you heard me? But yeah, this is a show that I'm just another guy giving his 2 cents about pop culture. We try to keep ourselves sharp and up to date in terms of pop culture, with hopefully the goal of just reminding folks that back in the day we could be entertained for entertainment's sake, just for that nostalgic spirit, which I was worried that it was slowly getting snuffed out, but I think we're slowly coming back to it, but we still got a ways to go. And of course, we always like to pull out what's good, what's bad, what's ugly. Sometimes, depending on if I on the studying that I'm doing, I'll go into like the spiritual warfare of sort of things too, because that's a rabbit hole going down that one, just seeing how everything's connected. But yep, a nerd through and through. And with us today, I'm super happy to have as a guest Phoenix, who is a part of PandaSub2000. What up, brother? How you doing?
How you doing, my friend? Yes, our channel has somewhere in the neighborhood of 9 to 8 million subs on it, give or take,
Nice.
minus 9 or 8 million. But yeah, no, thanks for having me. This is great. I've been wanting to talk to you. We've been actually been trying to do this for a couple of weeks. I'm happy we got this working.
Yeah. And let me, before we, I am super worried because, okay, good. Oh, thank the Lord. It's live.
just talking to ourselves.
No, I was worried because Restream, you can set everything up,
Mhm.
like, and kind of like with, I guess for example, Rumble Studios,
Mhm.
when you set, you can set things up and it'll create the schedule preview over on like YouTube and stuff. I did not
Yeah.
see it on Rumble. So I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
I am terrified if I go live and it's just on. I mean, we're on YouTube and X right now. All the more reason to follow us over there. I actually have Phoenix's information in the description below, so check him out.
Thank you.
And it, believe your website just has everything. I have it pulled up here
Mhm.
as well. But yeah, as always
Have you
with
ever done, real quick, have you ever done an entire live stream that never went live? Because I have. I'm
I've
like,
done
this
some.
chat's really light, but it was a
oh
good show.
oh I've done something even better. I've gone almost a full hour until someone told me that there was no audio with my mic.
Sweet.
So I was like on top of everything. It was absolutely amazing. I see Patty Quinn over on Rumble for the follow. Thanks,
Ah,
brother
Patty
or
Quinn.
sister. So I appreciate that as well. I am kind of upset because I had everything set up for a thumbnail, and the thumbnail over on Rumble did not carry over, the fools. I will fix this immediately. But Phoenix,
Yes.
love to get to know a little bit about you. So why don't you go ahead and kind of just let me know who you are, like what you do and where you came from and stuff. So
So, yeah, we run PandaSub2000 over on Rumble. That's our kind of everything channel. That's what we do everything, right? We do. It actually started off as it was supposed to just be a sci-fi comedy series that we were going to be doing for a long time, but it turned out that a lot of people liked our live shows, and so we started putting a lot of work in trying to give these unique experiences live. Like that's what we kind of try to do. We try to give a wide breadth of shows. So we've got like a pop culture and politics show, we've got a gaming show, we've got a Master Debaters, which is this debate show with a really unique twist, we've got a casino like experience show, you name it, blah 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 blah. We have all these different kind of shows, and we try to put some production value in there to just make it feel like we're giving you a real show as opposed to popping on a camera and talking, because there are many channels that do that, and they do it way better than us. So we need a little production value to override, our failings where we have some failings. But yeah, so we've been doing that for a couple of years over on Rumble, having a great time over there. And then I'm also working with side scrollers, which is where I think Power. Is that kind of where we found each other? Or did you find
I
you
would
on
say,
Rumble?
yeah, I wish I could say that I found you on Rumble, but um, I guess in general, like you know, like when you find like when you've watched people for so long, you just, at least for me, stick with it sort of
Mhm.
thing.
Sure.
But one of the thing was indeed side scrollers, and that's when you made your appearance there not too long ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, like the I connected because both you and I do editing,
Mhm.
and I really connected with that just because it's like, wow, this production is like really solid. It's like really nice,
Thank you.
and watched a little bit more, and then you said, hey, I'm over on Rumble. I was like, well, let's go. I need to be more social, I guess, which is weird because I'm antisocial in real life, and I guess, and you would think that wouldn't be an issue with online just because you're not, it's like there's a little bit of that separation there, but
Sure.
but that's just me being weird as fuck. So
No, dude, it makes sense, and having I've been doing this what 3 or 4 years, and you meet a lot of content creators, and I
mhm.
can tell you that that's a large portion. I'd say 30-40% of people I know would consider themselves antisocial and stuff like that, and they actually found that doing these shows
Oh,
actually helped them
that's
uh,
awesome.
get over some of those things. So
Yeah, I know I definitely felt that way too. Because one of my goals, for at least for my channel, is to be transparency is key. I noticed that a lot of people, a lot of channels kind of have the fake it till you make it sort of thing, and it kind of
yeah, yeah.
gives off that announcery type feeling, to which to me it doesn't feel genuine. Like, and
Mhm.
but then later on you would see video, like I'm specifically thinking of, like, I never really watched him as like PewDiePie, but I remember at one point, like down the road, I think he released a video talking about how he felt so trapped because he just couldn't be himself. And part of me was like, well, why didn't you just be yourself to begin with? Now, I could be completely wrong. I'm going off of memory here. Like I said, I
Mhm.
I never watched PewDiePie stuff, but it was that sort of thing. Is that something that you'd like to try to do as well? I mean, it doesn't, or do you kind of have like a persona you would like to give off, sort of thing?
Oh, well, no. So I always tell this. It's actually like there's an actual story that I think just says it all.
Okay.
I've met one person out in the wild that actually knew what I did, right? Like they actually. I'm not gonna be egotistical here. They would say they were a fan. They were just aware of the channel, and they went, "Oh my God, Phoenix, how are you?" So we got into a conversation, but this one person that has, for the first time ever, noticed me. And at
Notice
the
me,
end of,
senpai.
I'm sorry.
I said, notice me, senpai.
Yeah. At the end of that conversation, pretty much a direct quote was, "Wow, I had no idea you were so boring in real life." And
Oh no.
I cracked up because I'm like, "You nailed it." Like, yeah, yeah. So the point of that is, I have always been a behind the scenes guy, right? So I come
Hmm.
from a production background. So I would say I'm a writer director. I have always been behind the camera. The only reason why I am in front of the camera is because I am accessible and I'm free. so, so originally, what I was going to be doing with my whole channel was I was going to hire talent to kind of do these shows. But it was just like, well, that's a lot of money. Then the pandemic happened, so you couldn't have people necessarily, or at least in my area, you couldn't have people coming
Mm,
over, right? So I was just like, well, I'll just use me. And so, yeah, I do a persona. I'm a little bit larger than life, but always
mhm.
honest about that. Like, I'm very honest about everything that I'm saying,
Oh
but
yeah.
still shticky.
No,
And
yeah,
that helps me get through it.
I get you. Yeah. Yeah, and that's like kind of something I picked up too, sort of thing, is not so much, it's, I don't know, I just feel like I always had a knack of like kind of resonating with people and kind of knowing like who they are, and like,
Mhm.
kind of seeing and of course not saying that you do or anything, but like, some people put up masks in terms of like, this is the mask when I'm socially alive, and here's the mask of the other one. And like I said, I've noticed that people have been becoming more and more transparent of just who they are as a person instead of
Mhm.
putting on that stuff. Cause I remember, like, back in the early days of like YouTube and stuff, like your 2006, you had the, different sort of gimmicks or like shticks or stuff like that, like your angry video game like reviewer and stuff like that, which I did try to do, by the way. I was powder keg Greg, so still can be
nice.
still can be a powder keg at times. And you can find my old videos back on YouTube where I was fat as shit.
Nice.
But I'm thin now. Well, I need to get thinner still. Patty Quinn says, I'm using a different sort of, I can show it. Let's see it. Bam. A Twitch streamer I watched religiously one time, he never hit the live button for the first hour of the stream. Everyone was in the chat talking, thinking he was live. And then correction. He thought he was live.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. So I kind of have a guess in terms of what your hobbies and interests might be. But you want to go in a little bit more about that? I would hope video games. I've been seeing showing off video games.
So yeah, it's look, my sole passion in life is making stuff, right? Like that's what I just love doing, right? But as far as a hobby, whenever I have some time, which is almost never, I've always loved games ever since I was a kid. And I love them I like games for totally gay reasons. Like where most normal, healthy human beings like games because they love challenges. They love, having fun with their friends and trying to beat them, stuff like that. That is not why I love video games. I've always loved video games because as a kid who always loved storytelling and all this other stuff, I loved the idea that there was this art form. You can see I'm already going to gay tangent. There's this art form where you can that you could dictate your place in that story, right? That you could go left, you could go right, you could do whatever you wanted to do, and that game would mold around your experience, and the experience you had was very different from someone else's experience, right? So I've always been fascinated by that and the art form of it, the design of it, and stuff like that. So I kind of became a collector, and I've been playing games from the very early 80s, starting with Atari, and I've got a PlayStation 5 Pro. I'm probably maybe the second person you may know in life that has a PlayStation 5 Pro.
I do know one person.
See, I'm the second. You see, I told you.
Yeah, very true. Very true. But I will 100% agree that your reasoning behind playing video games is very
gay.
Yeah. It's extremely gay. Absolutely. I don't deny it.
So that actually led into a question I was going to ask is what was your first console that got you in there? And it sounded like you said Atari.
No, so Atari I had, right? But the console that really got me into it was obviously the Nintendo. It's a lot of like many people's stories. And for me, it was definitely Mario was great, but Punch-Out! Was my, as the kids say, jam.
Dude, Punch-Out! Was amazing. Yeah, the Nintendo was my first console too, and I remember that. I believe we got I'm assuming that's the only way you get it. We got the one that bundled Mario and Duck Hunt together. So I think that was the second, because I'm assuming there was just the Famicom or America Nintendo with Mario. Then there was Mario Duck Hunt, and then there was Mario Duck Hunt and the Athletes game, correct?
Well, they also had a Gyromite version, right? So I don't know if you remember the Gyromite one.
Gyromite, okay.
With the Robbie the Robot there.
They
had a couple of different pack-ins. But as far as the very beginning, and there was the Zapper version, I had just standard, just the regular Super Mario one. That's what I got.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I got Punch-Out! And Metroid with it.
See, and that's kind of like why I enjoy game streaming too, because I played Punch-Out!, but I have never played the Metroid series. And
my God.
I know. I think, and that's kind of why I like the concept of game streaming as well, is because you can, for people like me who missed out on certain series, you can share that with people and get, their reaction for the first time. Because I remember playing, of course, we had all Marios, 1, 2, and 3. We had all Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games. And honestly, I think that was actually it. So I played Zelda and still working up on going in order. What is the order of Zelda nowadays anyway? Because I think I need to play Twilight Princess next. I think that's where I'm like, you didn't like it? That's what I hear.
You know, look, it's a love hate. What is I think Vera Dark. I think it's Vera that loves Twilight Princess. Somebody loves Twilight Princess, so I know that's blasphemy. But no, I think it's one of the weakest in the
Hmm.
entire series. It's got good ideas, but it feels very vacant. It's just like it's an
Hmm.
open world with very little to do. The wolf mechanic gets old. I don't know. Maybe you'll love it. I don't know.
So would you like a very limited? You said open world, but it almost sounds like the way you're describing it is almost sandbox-ish.
Well, the great thing about a sandbox is it lets you do, a sandbox lets you kind of do whatever the hell you want there. No, you're still, just hack and slash kind of things and explore, but
Okay.
it's just a very barren world.
Ah.
It doesn't feel like there's life in it. It feels like, excuse me, you'll walk into an area and there's like one thing to do in this very large
Okay,
environment.
I get you.
Like
I do
where
love
Wind
hack and
Waker,
slashers.
there's like wonder wherever you go. Even though it's a vast ocean, there's still kind of feels like there's life in that environment. Twilight Princess doesn't have that, in
Mm.
my opinion.
Well, I'll get there eventually, so I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. And you were playing Cowabunga Collection.
Yes,
I was
yes,
watching that. I too was playing Cowabunga
I
Collection. I
saw.
I just beat, or no, I'm finishing up the Game Boy number 3. That game,
Okay,
Radical Rescue.
yes.
That game is hard
Fall
as
the Foot Clan is the first one. The second one, I forgot that one.
Return to the Sewers.
Yeah,
Is that
that
the?
makes sense.
I should. You think I would know this because I was literally playing it, but the name escapes me. Radical Rescuer or Rescue is hard as hell. Like that's probably the hardest one, and I do not understand why they needed to make it that hard.
Yeah, I don't either. Some of those Game Boy games can get excruciatingly hard.
Yeah, that was insane. Well, thanks for save states though, because I was safe scumming the crap out of that game, and because I'm just like, because that was the other thing too. Like I would say I'm someone who's I consider myself a hybrid. I like having the physical copies of stuff as
Mhm.
well, and I don't mind getting the consoles. But nowadays, today, since they're like either bastardizing it in one way, shape, or form with like, woke localization or
Mhm.
censorship and stuff like that, I've been going more PC route because we're having to rely on like the modding community to hopefully come in and kind of fix up that sort of stuff. What are your thoughts
Sure.
about that? Like, would you consider yourself probably like more PC or a console guy?
Oh,
Um,
definitely a console guy. So I have
mhm.
this like I one time accidentally said something on my show that apparently just lit up and made everyone really angry.
Oh,
Yeah, I had said, but again, I had said this is just for me. I wasn't making a blanket statement, but no, computers to me are for work. I do not see them as like a
hmm,
toy. It is work. So I had said, yeah, I don't play games on my PC. I do it again. I use it for the show, but again, I would consider my show work.
yeah.
It's a it's production. And then everyone took that as that I think PC people are assholes and that they're that they're making their computers into toys.
I
Like
mean,
I don't
I'll
get any of that.
I'll take your word for it if that's how you explain it. I don't get how people would draw to the conclusion that
I
PC
don't.
people I mean, I could say the same thing about purists because
Hmm.
purists would be like, "Well, no, there weren't any save states. You got to use, the
Hmm.
original hardware and you got to have a controller." It's like, "Okay, well, is all your stuff from Japan then?" Because
Hmm.
that's what I would consider being a quote purist,
Sure.
because that's where everything originated. And it's like it's so retarded to go down that route. It's like if you enjoy the game, then you enjoyed the game in whatever way you can. And I try
Yep.
to do it to where it's as pure to the creator's original intent as possible without,
Hmm.
the yellow tape from the companies that you got to you got to cut this out, you got to censor this, you gotta translate that. It's like, no, give me, I don't, I'm tough enough. I can handle whatever, whatever they're conveying to me and stuff, because I'm not weak.
See, I really one of the reasons why I love consoles is outside of just loving consoles. I love that whole idea. I always liked a new console generation. I always loved getting physical games. If you're someone who loves digital, I don't care. More power to you. But one of the reasons why I love physical is not just for collecting, because that's fun and I have a collection, but what I really loved about it was that at that time it made developers not be lazy. You had to make the game, you had a deadline, it needed to fit on this thing, and there was no going back. And so it forced them to actually not be lazy, to get the game done, right? So there's no patches, there's no we'll fix it later, da da da. And so I liked buying something that felt that was as complete as you could. And then there is the fun part that, yeah, you know what? There were little bugs here and there that you could exploit and, you know, and do some fun stuff with. So, you know, it made these little cartridges have some personality behind them because there was those exploits and stuff. So I miss that time where people who made games finished them. There was no DLC, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's what I miss.
Yeah, I miss that too. And like what Craig posted with that, what, Assassin's Creed Shadows, like 2 hours of
credits
of people who probably don't even need to be in the credits to begin with, sort of thing. It's like it's absolute, and I love that aspect that you pointed out too. It's like, yeah, back in the day, you had a small team, and it's like get cracking, and then you know some teams they were like, well, we're at the deadline and we didn't really fix anything, so. Or like we didn't polish some stuff up or whatever, release it anyway because we got to, sort of thing.
I don't know if look, I know a million artists, I'll include myself there too, in that if you were to tell an artist, hey, or look, anyone that builds anything, right? Even if you build furniture, whatever it is, right? And it's like, there's no deadline. Just get it till you think it's good. There's a good portion of those kinds of people that just keep building and going and just keep whittling away and trying to make it perfect, right? Sometimes we need a deadline, and the cartridges and physical media gave you that deadline. You had to make it, the end. Otherwise, there's no game, right? DLC, patches, things like that allows you to do that stuff later, and it allows you, even worse, to leave stuff out and then sell it as something else later, right? So it's not even a finished game now. You're intentionally leaving out 20% of the game because you can sell it as this. So it promotes all sorts of, in my opinion, very bad ideas, where cartridges totally, like, that was it. And I missed that. There was some great games because of that deadline.
What would you consider to be the perfect like game cartridge, game box, and manual? Do you have a specific one that you would go to? I know mine.
Like the box art and stuff like that, or you mean like the perfect?
I mean, it can include. I'm just talking about like back in the day when when you bought a game, what came with it? Your manual, your game case, and all that stuff. Do you have a favorite one that you want? Because I think like I said, I have mine, but I want to hear yours.
Yeah, let me hear yours first. That way I can kind of.
Mine has to be the Sega Genesis.
Okay.
I think they had everything perfect. They had the tab on it that you could just, because I remember whenever I bought games, when I just remember just looking at the rows and seeing your Sega Genesis games with the box and manual. It has the tab, it's hanging there. You pulled it off, you looked at it, you got your information of what the game is from the details in the back. And then based on that, you go, okay, I'm going to buy this. You went and buy it, clicked shut, game's in there, manual's in there, and hopefully it was colored. If not, then that's okay. But at least you had something. That to me was like, it was like everything like that you could want right there. And you could see it too. I don't know, something I think I just resonate with weirdly the tab, because it's that hanging thing that just mesmerizes you to where it's like, they're reaching up and pulling it off and looking at it. You know, I don't know why.
Sure.
What about yours?
No, well, now that you say it, I would have to say that the Genesis was the, not to absolutely rip you off, but I'm going to, and I'll just say it's my idea. So it's my idea. The Genesis was absolutely the perfect presentation. It was great looking on a shelf. I didn't have the love affair of the tab that you did, but I loved the hard shell. I loved that for a very long period of time, they went off the deep end later, but eventually, for a long time, it was the black box. They had the very same kind of style for everything.
I know.
I loved the fact that the cartridge clipped in and you had the booklet in there. Absolutely perfect presentation, and it made it feel like, when that car ride home, you couldn't wait
I
to
know.
play it, and it promoted that idea of saving it and collecting it because the presentation was so perfect. So I would say
Oh,
I agree with you on the Genesis.
oh man, because like what you just said there, like just it makes me think of when I got my copy of Hyperstone Heist and
Hmm.
Ghostbusters, because I really wanted a Ghostbusters game because I played the Nintendo one and it was
Yes.
garbage.
Yes.
It was garbage, and then Ghostbusters 2 was okay, and then we never got the Ghostbusters 2, the European one,
Hmm.
which I actually still need to play that, but I think that one's heard that one's pretty hard.
Oh yeah, that's what I've heard too. Yeah.
But the cool thing about that is there's people who've modded that game and like ROM hacked it and stuff to like
Hmm.
clean it up and like do some stuff. And that's why I also like love the modding community and stuff, because
Hmm.
some people are just love the game so much they're like, no, let's clean up the stuff that they kind of missed out, because who knows whether they were lazy or they met the deadline, they just had to, bring it out and whatnot. But I guess I would say the second thing would probably be the PlayStation like 2 cases, just because you could put also your memory card in there,
Hmm.
and then that all your hard work and stuff is in that case.
GameCube had those too.
Did see I stuck with the PS2 for a long time.
Okay.
I had friends who had the GameCube and we would trade systems and stuff, but I didn't grow up with the GameCube. I
Not
stuck
many
with
people did. I'm thinking, but it sold like 16 million or something like that. So it was
it's
pretty small.
Yeah, but then you had like games. Well, I guess they released it on PS2, like Resident Evil 4 and stuff. But I played Resident Evil. I remember playing Resident Evil 4 like on my friend's GameCube, and it was like,
Hmm.
wow, this is absolutely amazing. Like,
Oh yeah. That was
so
huge that we got that on the GameCube. Unfortunately, no one else played it. On it didn't do shit for the console, but yeah, because they had that exclusivity deal for a while with Resident Evil. And then when it was like, oh, cool, this is the one reason I have a GameCube. We feel special. And then it went to PlayStation 2 and everywhere else, like like a year later. So it
yeah,
kind of destroyed that.
yeah. GameCube had some good games. You got your Pikmin. I liked Metal Gear Solid. A lot of people don't like it, but I liked Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes.
Hmm.
Um, I'd love to see an actual. They keep. I mean, Delta's coming out, Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta. But
Hmm.
man, I'd love to see an up to date version of Metal Gear Solid 1.
They're not doing that. They're not gonna do anything with that at all.
I don't know about that. I haven't seen anything about that,
Okay.
because when they did the HD collection, people were like, "Oh, are you going to do something with Metal Gear Solid 1?" And it was like, "Nope, just
Uh,
there's a port there." Then you had that. The only up-to-date version is that Twin Snakes, which people find rather inferior, at least from what I've read or
right.
gathered from people. And that's owned by Nintendo, and I don't think Nintendo's ever going to let that go.
No.
Um, but then they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna remake Metal Gear Solid 3, and it's like, well, why not do Metal Gear Solid 1?
Yeah, I
Why?
would love that. Like, and actually just make it kind of 3D. Like, for me, I'd actually love to keep it just as still that overhead NES look, but
Yeah.
make it 3D. Nice environment, stuff like that. Be kind of sweet.
Oh, that would be amazing. Do you have a favorite video game series that you enjoy?
Mass Effect is my favorite games ever. Like the best trilogy of all time. So if you consider that a series, then yes. Otherwise,
Well, I
I would
guess
say something boring like Mario.
no, that's fine. Yeah, I guess I should have said like trilogy or whatever, what have you. But Mass Effect is on my backlog list. I need to play that as
Oh.
well.
Oh, okay. So you've never played that.
Nope.
Okay, yeah. So make sure you get the legendary version. That's like the new HD kind of collection,
Is it
which
pretty?
goes on sale a lot.
Okay, I'll have to check it out, because I got a copy a while ago.
Mhm.
What is it? I think the PS3 one, when it was like all of them together at one point.
Okay, yeah, all right. So look, that's what I originally started on. But if you get a chance, I would just get the legendary updated one, depending
Okay,
on what you're playing on. And dude, that goes on sale every once in a while. I'm not kidding. You could literally pick it up for about $5 every once in a while.
nice. I'll have
And
to
that'll be
look.
on your PC or modern consoles.
Sweet.
You can't beat if you like story driven, really heavy story driven games, then you'll love Mass Effect. If you hate that shit, if you can't wait to skip cutscenes, don't play it.
Is it? Would I say is it well balanced? Would you say?
Oh yeah, there's definitely game. Yeah, look, it's definitely still a shooter and things like that. Light RPG mechanics. The first one is definitely the most RPG-ish of all of them. But so much of that game is the conversations and the relationships and how well those characters are written, and like they really feel like your friends at the end of this trilogy. And I don't say that as some really poor, pathetic guy that has no friends, though that is true. No, but they're that solid of characers.
I thought you were going to say, no, it's true. I don't have any friends. Like, oh my gosh. Well,
I would say, so yeah, I would say if you really hate cutscenes, if you just really only want action, then you may not like the series. But if it's engaging enough and you can, as long as the story is good for you and then you'll endure it, then absolutely give it a shot.
No, I think I would enjoy, because I think I feel like I played like similar types of games like that. Because like, what would be other examples of Mass Effect type games?
Oh, God.
Real quick, that you can think of. Yeah, if you can think of.
I mean, any kind of just RPG in general.
Okay.
That has, conversations where you're building up characters and relationships, things like that.
Okay, I might be thinking of Fallout 4.
Okay.
Is that kind of like where you slow down and you pick the different parts and stuff, or no?
If you can get through, do you like Fallout 4? Did you play through that whole thing?
I didn't play through the whole game. I enjoyed it, but I kind of stopped after a while.
I would say if you can get through Fallout 4, great. Like a very modern game that I could point to would be Outer Worlds. If you've heard of that or played that, if you liked that game, I'd say then you'd love Mass Effect. It's a shooter at its heart. But
I love my shooters.
Yeah, but it's also really about this incredible story.
I don't think I'm worried about like not being engaged enough or anything like that. I guess I was more thinking of like how games now would, and I guess I don't know why I would compare, because hopefully it would be far enough back to where it wasn't becoming like this. But you know how a lot of games have turned into like glorified walking simulators.
It's not that. No.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm pretty sure like I'll enjoy this game, but
it's not that. And what I will say to you, is if you play the Legendary Collection, a lot of this you can ignore because they fix a lot of these issues. But what I will say to you is, if you're enjoying yourself, if you find any amount of entertainment out of it, but you're like, I don't know if I want to continue, just try to get to 2. And then decide if you want to drop it. But like the first one is kind of the black sheep. Some would argue it's the third one, but I will say to you, if the first one is going to be the most difficult.
Issue. I remember the big issue with hearing about Mass Effect 3. I read the backlash. I was like, oh, that sucks.
It's fixed now for the most part.
I don't know. I can't remember if I asked you this. Did I ask you like if you had a favorite console?
No, but I can answer that.
Yeah, can you answer that? I know. I feel like mine would probably change like every now and then. It just depends on the mood.
Yeah, I love I love so many different consoles, right? So I have almost the entire Wii U library.
Dang.
Yeah, I love the Wii U. But it's not my favorite console. I absolutely love the N64. But my boring answer, I actually think that if you look at I think for me it's the PlayStation 4, believe it or not. I just thought they did everything right. Every single thing was done right. All the exclusives I love that they had. It still holds up to this day. It's carrying the weight of PlayStation 5, which literally has nothing on it.
I know.
But I would say though that I think So that was my pick. Boringly enough, it's PlayStation 4 and like the VR that came with that and everything. But I but if I had to pick the best console of all time, I actually would give it to the Switch. I do think that
Hmm.
that's not for me, but I do believe that's the greatest console that has ever. I don't think you can beat the Switch.
I can see that. Hmm,
Name
pos-
another console, right? Name any other console that every single year, 7 year, we're almost 7 or 8 years out, is still cranking out banger after banger
this is
and
true.
10 out of 10s, genre defining things that inspire other games on hardware that's in technology terms ancient comparably to what the rest everyone else is doing, and the fact that you could enjoy that on the road or at home, that is hard to beat a system
Oh
like
no,
that.
I agree with you with that. I guess more so like home console. Again, and I'm probably biased with the PS2 just because it had such a big library. There's you can just find so many hidden gems in there or
Oh
something that
sure.
you just was like, where was this? I missed this. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
It's like the ether is endless.
Yes, you're always. Anytime I would go to a retro game store, I would find another PlayStation 2 game, bring it home. It's like, oh wow, I can't believe I never even heard of this game. PlayStation 2 is an amazing choice, and I think I would say a very good portion of people would agree with you on that. Like, I mean, well, first of all, it is still the number one selling console of all time, almost beaten by Switch, but
I
it's pretty
know.
much up there.
I don't know. Part of me just wants it to be like Sony has gone downhill so much. Just still maintain that one thing that we can be like, oh yes, the PS2. I remember the PS2. Would you say so like what kind of genre of video game do you find yourself like going to the most? You know, it could be like single player,
Oh, it's
multiplayer,
always single.
always
It's
single.
single. Yeah, and it's narrative driven. I like story driven games. So I love the genre that most people absolutely hate, which is point and click adventure games. I love the old,
Ooh.
Lucas Arts games, Sierra games, things like that. And there's a lot of people don't know this, but that genre is still alive and kicking. It just never grew. It's still the exact same people still from King's Quest to now that we're still there. You can when you release a point and click adventure game, you know exactly what your sales are going to be because there's that group of people. That's it. It doesn't grow. It's going to die with us. So yeah,
Oh,
I would say like I think a great modern version of the games I like nowadays, I guess would be the closest thing would be like Uncharted because it does marry fun gameplay with great character, fun, story elements, things like that. So I would probably say that those are my favorite kind of games. And PlayStation, especially 4, was delivering a lot of those narrative driven games.
hmm.
Some people love them, and I totally get other people absolutely fucking can't stand them. I totally get that.
I remember, I'm pretty sure it's a point and click game, but I remember going over to like my, when your parents knows other people and you would go to their family's house and stuff like that. I remember playing Are You Afraid of the Dark? The Tale of
Sure,
Orpheus Curse all the
sure,
time.
sure.
You ever play that game?
No, my friend had it, and he loved that game to death. He played it over and over again. I always asked him, "Did you actually like it?" He's like, "I don't know if I really liked it, but it was just like nostalgia for me just to
I
keep playing
know.
it over and over
Oh
again."
man, I remember playing that. Komanga says PlayStation Slays. Just PlayStation or PlayStation 2 or 3 or 4? That's the real question. And welcome, Komanga, by the way, over on YouTube. Thanks for hanging out. We have our boy Phoenix here. All of his social media is in the description, or you can check out his website. Ooh, let's do a screen share. Let's see if I can do this. Well, bam.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. Oh, it's really covering us. Okay. Wait a minute. Well, anyway, it's here.
There it is.
I feel like I need more than 2 computer monitors when we get to this. But there you go. You got your Rumble channel, the X Twitter, Instagram, Minds, Odyssey channel, and Truth Social. So check them out. And I did watch that video you sent me of
Thank you for enduring.
yeah, of Night Trap. Well, no, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I was like, wow, like I said, like the video effects and stuff. I was like, dang, that's really going hard. And I think why don't we go ahead and talk a little bit about that? Because you're a
sure.
video editor, like you mentioned, like working for side scrollers and all that.
Mhm.
Like, was that when did you find out that like that was something that you really enjoyed doing? Was it a like at a very
Produ- I've been doing production since forever. So I was pulled from even from college, and I was working with 20th Century Fox. I was so pretty much at the age of 18 or 19, something like that. I was already in the production field, and that's a long story. Long story short, I didn't like the agenda that Hollywood was doing, and so I gave up
same here?
everything. I gave up the entire
Wow,
industry. I gave up my salary and health insurance, everything to leave that because I didn't agree with the philosophy there.
wow.
So I went from, six-figure guy to working in retail and going like, what am I doing? I don't know about this, like having this morality is really paying off, but anyway, yeah. So one of the things was like I was doing this show, that Night Trapped episode you saw was part of these 42 episodes that we had filmed. I'm still working on all that stuff. It was just a hobby project. It was just a fun thing to do, super low budget, $0. I filmed it with a hockey stick with a CompUSA microphone duct taped to it as my microphone.
Nice.
Shot the entire thing in like a 6 foot space with some friends and stuff like that, and it was just fun to do. So I've been doing production forever, writing, directing, you name it. And then Craig and crew found me through that. They found me through those PandaSub things that I was making, essentially.
Wow. That's awesome. I mean, like I said, because as a video editor myself, like I think that's what I really enjoyed of like kind of seeing you when you hopped on side scrollers and stuff is like the I don't know, it's just like a weird I don't know how to describe it. It's like a weird feeling because I'm wired to where I like repetition
Mm-hmm.
and I don't like being interrupted in terms of that. And I kind of get that through editing and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
it's also one of those things to where I have to enjoy what I'm doing as well, sort of thing. Now, sometimes, of course, you got to force yourself to do it at times like that. But that's also probably why I really like beat 'em ups and hack and slash because it's the same thing over and over. But I can just get
Sure.
lost in it because I mean, no more heroes and you're going
Mm.
around cutting people's heads off and it's so good and stuff like that. But yeah, that's why I just resonated with you because I was just like, wow, that's some high quality. Like, I mean, to me, it's high quality stuff like
Mhm.
that because it's still stuff I'm trying to work with and stuff. So, did you like go to college to like specifically?
Yeah, so I did. I went in to film school, and then I was picked up. I finished it much later because I was picked up already out of there. I actually have a I could I don't know if I could bore you with a story. You might enjoy it,
Sure.
especially if
No,
you're someone who likes industry stuff. So
I'm here to learn.
I won't give the actual director, right? But let's
Oh
say that
yeah.
he's a really big director. He did, I think the last thing he did was with Leonardo DiCaprio. Big director, okay? And
Nice.
he was a hero of mine. So I'll give you a quick. I think you're gonna like this story.
I'm all
So
ears.
this was a hero of mine. This particular director. I was in college. I was in class one day, and all of a sudden my friend runs in to my like it was like an accounting class or some shit like that, and he's like, Phoenix, you need to come with me right now because I'm working on the set of director. We'll call him Director X. Director X right now is doing a show right now, and I'm one of the coffee guys. We need another hand. Do you want to do that? So I just left. I'm like, okay, fuck it, I'm out. I left class and I go there. Now, my I've always been someone that just goes, what is the fastest route from here to here that I can possibly go? That's always how I look. I don't like climbing ladders. I just go, what's the most direct route? So
I think
I'm
I
eight.
like the way you think.
Okay, well,
'Cause
then you'll really like this
I
story.
feel like that's me too.
Okay. Well,
Like,
here
I'll
we
do it.
go.
I can copy you whatever you want. Tell me, give me everything you need.
Yeah,
Be straight with me as possible. Continue the
the,
joke.
so I'm about 18, 19, I say. I get on set. Okay. So they go, okay, Phoenix, you're the coffee boy, this, and this. Now I immediately already know I'm like, do like your goal right now is to not make great coffee, because if you make great coffee, then you'll always be the great coffee guy and you'll never go anywhere. You've got to be just medium coffee guy. Good enough that you don't get fired, but that like but that you're not known as the great coffee guy. So anyway, I'm handing over this coffee to one of the people. It's like, listen, I need you, do me a favor, fuck the coffee, take these reels, right? Take this tape and send it to the editor. And I said, you got it, boss. And I took the footage and I ran home. I stole it. And I put it on my computer and started editing it. Then I went back, called them, and said, "Listen, they told me that I need to go to Director X's hotel room to deliver the edited footage." And so just because I'm on set and I have my little card, they go, "You got it," and they gave me that. So I went to his hotel room, knocked on his door, and I'm like, "You don't know me, but I stole your editor's footage, and I edited it myself, and I think you're gonna like it better." And I remember in my head like, dude, you're so cool. He's going to invite you in and he's like going to give you a drink. It's like, nope, he called security.
Oh gosh.
So, and he's like, listen, I don't know who the hell you are. That's terrifying. But his wife, who's also very, very, very Academy Award winning person. And I loved this person forever. It was amazing just to be there. And she goes, you know what? Give the kid a chance as the security is coming up. He's like, all right, I'll tell you what. We'll watch this. Let's see what you did. Like, was it worth you getting blacklisted for the rest of your life? Because I will make sure you never work in this industry.
Oh gosh.
So I was like, that is not how I saw this going.
Oh dear Lord.
But it turns out he watched it. He fired his editor, and I worked with him for the next 3 years. I lived with him. We moved back and forth to Australia.
Wow.
I got my start into 20th Century Fox there. Went to Lucasfilm. And started moving there. So blah blah blah.
Wow.
That's you just the point out of that story is sometimes being an arrogant, cocky, headstrong motherfucker works as so long as you hopefully have some talent to back that up, but just the belief in yourself enough. Because in this industry, or at least I can speak for at the time, I don't know, now it's all fucking agenda, terrifying shit. But back then, they didn't want to see that you were obedient. They didn't want the coffee boy. They wanted the guy that would do pretty much what I did. And if you know Spielberg's story, and I'm not comparing myself to him, but I'm saying there's another, you can look at that story. He was on a ride in Hollywood. He jumped off the ride, went to the back offices and showed his reel. And it's that kind of stuff of just like, get out there, show yourself, do whatever you can. Don't second guess it. Just run and just run for it headstrong. That paid off a lot of times. It's the person. A lot of people think they need to I need to work in the industry for a while, and then I need to put together a really good reel, and then I need to work network. No, fuck that. Just knock on the guy's door, steal the footage.
Just commit theft. It's all good.
Yes, I was giving it back.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess
technically I did.
Technically, yes, but not in the way that it was taken.
Right.
From.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing, because I think that's something where I don't have a problem like showcasing my skills when I need to and stuff like that, but it's definitely I still struggle, and that it just could just be me as a person. Is that doing something like that, like exactly what you just shared with us. Like I feel like I couldn't do that, but then like, would you say like doing something like that? I mean, it sounded like, yeah, I just want to do it. Like, I know some people kind of do that out of desperation, sort of thing.
No, it's not. It's not desperation. It is just how I think. It's just. It's like if I want something, within me, I'm not really, I'm not hurt. No one's getting hurt. You know, I'm just going to get in my car and, and just, you know, drive past the police.
I understand where you're coming from. I'm not retarded like a lot of people out there.
Yeah. No, within normal means. Yeah. I just believe you should go for it. And, you know, I had a girlfriend ages ago who I got into the industry, and she was really playing it safe. I'm like, no, you gotta push. Like, you're in the offices of huge people. Just do this, and this to get there. And she just never wanted to. And so it took her, you know, like a decade to climb the ladder when you can do it pretty much in 3 days. If you've got the chutzpah, if you will, and hopefully some talent to back it up. Obviously, if you just show a train wreck of shit, then it's not going to work. But if you do believe in your abilities, and I certainly did, probably more so than I should have, but I did. I believed in my ability, and that kind of stuff just paid off. In that particular case, it paid off.
I guess this is a good segue to kind of first off. Do you mind sharing, like, when you were saying, like, back in the day of Hollywood, like, what year was that?
So I worked there from, I think, 1998, 1999, something like that.
So back when it was still, like, based.
It was always, look, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of the odd sexual shit you've probably heard. And
yeah. It
was always gross. It just was less gross, and you could make a living without being involved in that. Gotcha. Then around the mid 2000s, then moving into 2010, everyone's involved, right? To one capacity or another, and you knew somebody that was this, and once I started seeing that, that same headstrongness of knocking on the director's door is the same with me, of like, I have my principles and I won't bend, and I don't care if I'm literally don't care if I'm homeless. I refuse to participate in making something that is part of an industry that I feel personally is gross, right? Like, I don't want to be part of that problem.
And that's kind of because I've talked with voice actors and video game developers and motion capturing individuals that's been on the show before, and you can find them online. I've talked with Vic Mignogna, Doug TeNapel, and Ruben Langdon, the guy who's Dante and stuff like that. And I've always asked him, I'm like, was it ever like this bad back in the day? And everybody said exactly what you said. There was the weirdos back there, but no, because that shit was kept behind the scenes, and it didn't infest and poison the final product to where it's just part of it. It's expected to be in there, which it shouldn't be. And that's why I resonate so much nostalgia wise with your 80s, your 90s, your early 2000s. It's because the sky was limited. If you, exactly like what you did, if you went in, you did your thing and you succeeded. But if you did your thing and you failed, then it was okay, sort of thing. Like, the sky was the limit. And that's kind of like with, your old school movies, what I enjoyed, where some people are like, my gosh, this movie's so terrible. But it's like, but they just fucking did it, sort of thing. There's a lot of dumb, pointless movies, but we all love it in the end. Like, you could say Billy Madison was, is it the best written? Yeah, classic. Was it the best written story ever? Absolutely not. But
no, but it was the best at what it needed to be.
Yeah, exactly. And we just do not get that anymore, because now everyone's so damn lazy, and they're bastardizing everything by just saying, okay, well, all the hard work that these people who established these franchise did, let's see, delete, copy, paste, man is now woman, the South Park, make her lame and gay. Like, it's absolutely disgusting. And I appreciate you just on your putting your foot down and saying, I am not fucking crossing this line. A lot of people don't do that. And
it is a completely thankless like endeavor. Like, it really, dude, I'm not gonna bring down the energy, but I lost everything. Like, everything. The relationship I was in, every single thing.
I respect you too, because and I don't know how you stand, but as someone of faith and stuff, it's like, Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is a line. You know,
Yeah.
I'm broken regardless. I am by no means a perfect person, but I do connect with people that like just know when something is like this is wrong, this is disgusting.
It really is like insert whatever it is in your head, whether it's a historical event or an entertainment, whatever it is. We've all
Mhm.
been somewhere where we always went, I wish someone didn't go along with, like, if someone there could have just said not for me, right? And so for me, I'm like, well, I always remember saying that I have to be the guy for me. And is it going to make a dent? No, I'm a fucking nobody. You know, like I'm not anybody. But I can control me. That's what I can control. And so it was important for me to leave. And then one of the things that I wanted to do on my channel, and by the way, another thing that really hurt was that there was some interest in a TV series that I was writing, and I was like, but not to say that it would have happened, but there was some interest. They're like, oh, my dream come true. Oh well. Anyway, point is, when I left that and everything, and then I found doing this whole spiel, one of the things that I wanted to do, especially as someone who is not a lefty, I was a lefty, but not anymore, I wanted to show the right side. I wanted to show other people. Fuck it, not even get politics. Just people who were against whatever the hell the left has that those people have become.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted to show the audiences that artists exist that are not part of that thing. And I know that I was a nobody and no nothing like that, but I said, you know what? Hey, if I make something that feels as big as it can be with zero budget and keep promoting my opinion and values of things, it will alert people that there are other people. There's a way that we can make entertainment that doesn't involve the Hollywood system, that there's ways and networking that we don't need them. We can actually make our own stuff. So if I'm doing it with $0, shit, if we can put together a couple of cents, imagine what we could do with 75 cents together, you know?
No, yeah.
So that's why that was important to me to try and make something big, because I wanted to show people that our side, or I'll speak for myself, that my side, that there are people here, that there are artists. Let's get together. Fuck those people. Let's make something great.
No, I love that attitude because that's definitely how I feel with like the gifts that I've been given and stuff like that is indeed this rising of indie creation or content creation or whatever you want to call it is it's saying it's that it's I don't need to sacrifice my values or my morals or what have you, or it's with people who can understand, like it's like okay, that's cool, like I'm not going to instant hate you for it and stuff, like how
Mm-hmm.
you know these lefty retards have just gone down the stream where it's like, well, you got to think 100% like me or you're fucking, you know, we're going to, you know, burn you to the ground. But then it's
Yeah.
funny because it's literally a den of snakes and these people think like, well, I'm sucking up to them, so I'll climb up the ladder. It's like, you think they're gonna let you take their power away? Like that's what I love about it. It's just
Yeah.
like it's like, and what's fun, and then you have the opposites where it's like the people higher up, it's like, yeah, I'll give this guy a chance, and then those guys will climb up and boot out the people that were established. It's like, do you guys not see that you're all being fucking used like nowadays?
No,
It's
they don't.
Oh, it's absolutely insane. Komanga says Hollywood has run its course. I'll tell you what, man,
Absolutely.
I
Amen.
wish I mean the only person who maybe could do it would be Elon. I would just love a based rich dude. Just be like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a shit ton of studio and land and stuff. I'm gonna fucking make a new Hollywood. Fuck those
Hmm.
assholes and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Because I was kind of thinking about it too, like with the movie rating system. It's like, can someone else just start another rating system?
Why not?
Like, why not? Because that's exactly. Did you ever? I know back when I was in college. Did you watch the documentary? This film is not yet rated.
I think I have it too. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching that too, and it was absolutely crazy. On like, it's a straight up censorship group. Like,
Yes.
it's a straight up censorship group, and I feel it's the same way with the video game ratings too. It's the same thing. Like, I understand, like all you like, and this is even too much, but if anything, it's like, well, bam, like just show whatever, like PG, PG-13 or what
Mhm.
have you are and stuff, that's where, like a movie trailer, the whole point of that is, do I want to go and spend money to see this movie? Yes or no? Like with video games, it's either play the demo or back in the day, read the back and pray to God and hope that it was good. Because if
Yeah,
it's
oh, yeah.
not, then you just wasted your money. But, you know, that's where I got it. Because did you see the article? Like, I'm pretty sure you guys covered it, but did you guys see where the rating system is now getting to the point where they're listing in detail, literally spoiling the movie of what stuff like can happen?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like the UK, I believe. Not surprising, of
Well,
course,
there
but
you
like it's
go.
like they're getting to the point where they're spoiling the movies and they're listing like scenes in this movie may showcase blah 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 blah
A
blah. And it's
twist ending where the kid sees dead people.
exactly, yeah, like yeah, something
It's
like
Bruce Willis.
I know. And then you realize you were shot all along
Yeah.
and and just become sad. But yeah, it's getting absolutely crazy. Like, and I understand the warnings of maybe like epilepsy or something like that. But like again, eh, what are your thoughts on that too? Because I also think it's also like a lot of parents are also not due diligent enough in knowing what their kids are getting. But then of course you can say, well, they could just go to their friend's house and their parents don't give a shit and they're playing like all these games. It's just crazy to me. Like
What's the question about the rating system?
the
About
rating system, yeah, I guess.
I think it's
Yeah.
mostly stupid. I think
Like would you want to get rid of it like altogether? Like 100% or just have like a very, very minimum sort of thing?
look, I can understand for look, I can't think of just me. Me, I don't give a shit. But I totally understand families. I
Yeah.
understand, and not everyone has to look. It's easy for me to say, hey, you should be more involved in your kid's life. Read the article, read about what the movie is before you totally, But in
Mhm.
a realistic world, hey, we to the point that we trust the FDA to a certain degree that they're going to somewhat look out for us. Let's just go along with that for a second. You know,
Yeah.
the fact that this is here, okay, it's safe to consume to a degree. But basic stuff, look, sex, violence, this, I could see its value.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it's so dug into politics and all that other bullshit that I wish
Mhm.
wasn't there, and I wish we can get rid of that. And it's
Mhm.
just a very technical thing. This is featured. The end. Here's
Yeah,
your stupid
I think
rating.
I'm the same way too. I always imagine like the government or whatever being the gimp from Pulp Fiction. Just get in the fucking box and we're gonna bring you out to solve an issue that we have.
Yeah.
Maybe watching Bruce Willis tied to a chair. And then when you're done, you're going back in. And hopefully you don't get punched out, knocked out, and then strangled to death because you were just hanging there forever.
Yes.
That's my example of like, this is what the government should be. The gimp in
Mhm.
the box. Come out, do
Yes.
your thing. Now go back inside. You're done, sort of thing. Well, we're reaching up to that hour mark here. I know you said you have a little bit more
About a half
time,
hour more. I'm good.
about a half more
Mhm.
time. So here's something. What's your go-to game whenever you just want to like sit back and chill? Do you have a go-to game?
Yeah. Punch Out. Mike Tyson's Punch Out for me.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yes.
Very nice. Do you like the Super Nintendo version?
Yeah, it's good. No question, it's a good game. I just love the original. The Super Nintendo one is slightly feels slower.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially with like the rapid punches. Like you're
Yes,
supposed to go fast, but it's still like I feel like I should be like on fire, going ham.
exactly. And
Was
the Nintendo one's quick, and I just kind of like that. And
mhm.
I've always liked the graphics. There's a certain. I'm not a nostalgic person, but there is a nostalgic element to it for me that obviously that I love. So it would have to be Punch Out.
Very nice. I'm assuming you've beaten Punch Out all the
No,
way?
I've never beaten Mike Tyson.
Really?
Never
Oh,
could beat
wow.
him. It so one of the reasons why I love Mike Tyson's Punch Out is that 99.9% of the day I'm making something and thinking of how I'm going to make that thing. And the great thing about Mike Tyson's Punch Out is it's rhythmic to an extent, So like that's my way of relaxing, is just like this is something that my brain can actually turn off. Like just can go to sleep for a second and just do something kind of rhythmic, right? It's almost like just beating to music almost. And so I just have fun doing that. I'm not necessarily, when we get to Tyson, it's just like fuck me. This is too much. This is this is way too much thinking.
You
Now I
gotta
gotta really be
survive
here.
in a minute 30, and then
Yeah,
it gets
yeah.
better. I've actually beaten him.
No, and I applaud you because he is tough.
He is tough, but I will say that I just skipped to him right away. I haven't
I was gonna
beaten all.
ask.
What's up? Yeah. No,
Yeah, I was gonna
I'll
ask.
tell you straight up. Like I've beaten him, but I haven't played all the way through. Like I think what is it? Super Macho Man?
Mhm.
I get up to him and then I start struggling because I feel that's where the patterns, to where I'm at that point to where once I'm defeated, like it's back to the beginning, and it's like I didn't have time to memorize, like to learn his patterns. But I guess
Sure.
nowadays it's just it's interesting that you mentioned that, because there's like rhythm type games out there. Is that something you've, I
But
forget.
like Guitar Hero, I love guitarists for the same exact reason.
I love Guitar Hero. I played the shit out of that game.
Yeah.
Would you go up all the way to? I played 1, 2, and then I kind of stopped at 3 because I
Oh.
couldn't get a PS3.
Yeah, no,
I do.
all of them. I think I literally have every single Guitar Hero game.
Oh wow. Do you have a favorite one that you enjoy?
Metallica, just because I also like Metallica, so it was fun to just listen.
Well,
to
yeah,
Metallica.
Metallica.
So I'd say Guitar Hero 3 and Metallica.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
newest one sucked, where they added
The live or tour? Guitar Hero Tour?
I think it was
Guitar Hero
Live.
Live, I think.
I think was
yeah,
and
where it's
that's
real.
one where they had the touchpad on it and everything. And it's
Oh
just like,
yeah,
I think
never.
it's that one.
I think it is too. It's with live scenes, right?
Yeah.
And then like whenever you like fuck up, like the screen gets blurry, and then they film everyone getting mad at you. And
Yes, that one. I thought that was
one,
me.
I know. Do you think Guitar Hero could still succeed today?
Well, look, that was its supposed comeback, and it didn't.
I'm
think
bad with dates though. Like when do you know when that?
So that was probably around 2015, 2016-ish would be my guess, somewhere
Want to
in
know
there.
what's funny is we have technology. I could just straight look this up right now.
I'm curious to see if I'm right. I'll say 2014 to 2016, somewhere in that range.
Okay, I have the answer. Do you want to narrow it down some more, or are you gonna
I
play
will
it
say
safe?
it is 2015.
You are indeed correct. You got it. Yes. 2015 rhythm game and a reboot of the Guitar Hero series. And did not do well.
No, it tanked. And I know that, and then the other one that I'm blanking, Rock Band, also came out, and I was never much of a Rock Band guy, but that was the better game because it was more of the same.
I did like Rock Band, but yeah, I resonated with Guitar Hero because I played the shit out of that game. And something about the charm of, because now they can actually get the actual masters of people's songs. Guitar Hero 1 and 2 were people redoing stuff, and something about it was just, it's charming because it's like sometimes it's like, oh, they captured the essence of the original song pretty well, and then other times it was like, oh, it was like, oh, like I remember listening to like Beast and the Harlot from Guitar Hero 2, and I was like, I don't know why, I was like, you know what, I want to find the Guitar Hero version, like clean, like no one playing it or like anything. And I'm listening to it again, and I'm like reading the comments, and people are like just bashing on it, just like, it doesn't sound the same. Like, where's, Shadows' scream in the beginning? Because didn't scream. It was like, rah. Oh my goodness, that is absolutely ridiculous. Oh yeah, but I spent many of time playing Guitar Hero. It's now I'm feeling.
Did you get the Nintendo DS one where you would like cripple your hands on the little?
I did not have a Nintendo DS one. Did you play that one too?
Oh yeah, dude.
I know you said you played all of them, but I guess
Yeah, no, and it would like I'm telling you, it is like you will cripple your hand. It is such a tiny, it's this little add-on device that would plug in the back of the
I've
DS.
seen it, yeah.
Okay,
No,
and your
I've seen it at
hands are
least,
cramped
yeah.
like this,
Oh my
but it
god.
works. It fucking works. It
Only
did it.
three buttons though, right? Can ha
I think four.
Dang, they could get fit. Wow.
I think four. Oh, I'm telling you, it was cramped. You were...
Was that like did they combine like aspect of like songs from like 1, 2, and 3? I don't know when that came out, like,
I
or
don't
was it kind of
remember.
like their own thing?
Think it was probably, it was probably off of that third engine. I feel like it was all part of like Guitar Hero 3, so it's probably around that time period.
Did you ever play DJ Hero? I remember
No, I have
seeing
not
that.
played
I
that.
remember seeing that, like trying to get pushed, and I was like, I wonder if like anyone will actually fall like into that, like,
Do you know
or
why
get
that
in.
would never work to me? Because no one air DJs, right? Like you air guitar, you air drum, um, but like doing this, you just, I mean, you do look like a complete retard when you air guitar, but this, you just look like a huge douchebag. If you just,
Oh no, I would say if I saw someone, I would be like,
And this guy must be a fag.
yes, I would agree.
oh my goodness, yeah, it'd be like, dude, you're looking pretty faggy right now, like,
Yes,
like back off. So
yes,
here's a nerd question for you, since we're
sure.
talking about video editing and
Mhm.
stuff like that. What is
Yeah.
your favorite editing software?
Not Premiere. So
Really?
Adobe, yeah, no. So Adobe back in the day was great. Adobe was an amazing, amazing
It has gone
piece of
down to
software.
shit. I will.
Oh boy, has it! It once it went to subscription,
Mm,
it plummeted. Buggy, no innovation. I will say lately they've had a little bit of innovation, but
hmm
for a long stretch of time, nothing. And you have, companies like DaVinci, God bless them, coming in and doing some great stuff. Final Cut, I used to love Final Cut before it went also to shit,
mm,
which is when Steve Jobs died. They got rid of their professional suite and they made it iMovie Pro. So
mm.
I find that none of them are good. I think DaVinci is probably the best just because it harkens back to that Adobe era where you could just buy the software and it's complete.
One and done. That's what I
Yeah.
get upset too. And I might actually, I guess I should now check out DaVinci. So like, do you use DaVinci then?
I'm
Or,
just starting to, so I still, well, let me give this to you as a warning, right? So
hmm
I have to keep Adobe because of client work. So my
Yep, I agree.
clients, they still use those files. And then when we need to go back to old files, right? So even if
Oh yeah, yeah, dirt.
I got
Yeah,
to bring up old projects. And so
yeah.
you're stuck in this shithole. So I would say to you or anyone out there, if you have an opportunity for some kind of clean slate moment where you're not necessarily tied to this, get out as fast as you possibly can. Don't get into that ecosystem because then you're like me and you have to unfortunately keep paying money for this absolute garbage fest. And it's garbage. It's absolute garbage.
Yeah, and then well, there was a recent thing too where like their terms saying like
With the AI thing, right?
yeah, I think spying on you or something with like they own your content. Pretty much there was something in there that allowed them that if they wanted to, they could pretty much do like what I'm kind of annoyed with digital video games is they don't
Mm-hmm.
like you or you don't like your ideology. Oh, you don't own the games anymore. Unplug your library. I want to.
I, I I'm not speaking from like a viewpoint that I know what I'm talking about. What I wouldn't be surprised if that agreement is that they can use it part of their AI learning system, right? So
Mm,
meaning they can pull, let's say for instance, you did a skateboard video, whatever, that it can take that footage and use that so that when someone types out skateboard scene, it can grab what it's learned from your skateboard footage, if that makes sense. I wouldn't be
yeah,
surprised if that's what it's doing.
I think the recent update because I just update. Well, I updated Premiere, and then something weird was happening with Audition, so I had to downgrade it again. So now I'm trying to find, because I remember reading this on a past show, but like, yeah, there was some stuff to where like people were pissed because they found like the terminology where pretty much it was like they're looking at your shit, and like if they didn't, they could cancel it at any time or like, do that sort of stuff. But then again, like I feel like so many companies probably have that somewhere in their in their terms.
Oh yeah. Oh well, when you're working for a company, don't ever make anything original because they own it. And in many cases.
Yep, that's why you sneaky do it at night and don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite video game character?
A favorite video game character? The boring answer is I've always loved Mario because it's just the most accessible, perfect character in the world, because it's like he's cute, he's fun, it's whimsical, turn your brain off. Like, this is pure popcorn kind of gameplay when you get it, and it does feel like you're playing a cartoon. That said, I would say I think Nathan Drake is my favorite video game character. I think he's the most well-written, likable, funny, charismatic, you name it. I think Nathan Drake for me would be. Every time I would play those games, I'm instantly absorbed into what Nathan Drake's going to say and do. And I really like him to the point. And I'm going to say, you ready for the internet to fucking burn down?
I'm ready.
I like him more than Indiana Jones. I think he's better written than Indiana Jones. And the internet will now go on fire.
Oh my goodness gracious. So, like, what were your thoughts on Uncharted 4? Because that was like a big.
I personally loved 4.
Okay.
I thought that was the perfect send off. I didn't think you needed to end him, but if you're going to end it, that is how you end it. And I thought it did a great job of that. Now, you could see a lot of that woke garbage infiltrating it to an extent. But it wasn't enough for me to dismiss it. There was enough that you could kind of go, all right, there's elements of this in the other games. Okay, it's not a complete departure. But now it certainly was on the trajectory that what if they were to ever make another one, oh, fuck me, it's going to be insufferable,
Gotcha. Yeah, I had a weird... because I played 1 through 4. I played them all as well, and I don't know. There was like certain elements that started bothering me once I got up to like 3 and 4. I'm trying to remember what it was specifically. I don't remember, but I remember like definitely the wokeness of 4, of definitely being like, this doesn't need, like, why is this here? Oh my gosh, it doesn't need to be here. So you like Nathan Drake more than Indiana Jones?
Yeah. Now, I'm not an Indiana Jones guy, though. So, I mean, like, that's not hard for me to say.
Yeah.
But I think there's more... look, you don't have Nathan Drake without Indiana Jones. So, like, clearly Indiana Jones is the better character. He's the starter.
Well,
right?
yeah, the inspired...
More than inspired. Nathan is essentially a replica to an extent of that, right? But I would say that for me, he was wittier. He was way more flawed than in general. I love flawed characters. I like characters that constantly get winded, beat up, and keep wanting to go back for more. That they're not perfect. They're not the smartest guy in the room. And Nathan Drake over Indiana Jones, for me, was the better version of that. For me. Do I totally get someone saying that's blasphemy? Yes, I totally get it.
Gotcha.
No argument.
No argument.
Yeah, no argument.
So, would you say, like, when it comes to with editing and whatnot, do you have I'm wondering if like, is there like a specific type of editing that you enjoy to do, like editing like video game footage or like music videos or more cinematic stuff? Like, is there something that like just resonates you like more so than others sort of thing? Or is it like, I'm fine with whatever sort of thing?
So I've always been, I would say I'm a writer first, and so anytime I edit my own stuff or whatever, it was just, just how best to capture what we're trying to do. But in the industry, in our circles, I was always known as Blitzkrieg. So I came from a real '90s mentality, and if you remember the '90s about what that editing style looked like, it was rapid fire blitzkrieg editing of fisheye lens and cut to here and flash frame this and that, so I like fast, I like music video style, I like an edit that how do you explain this without sounding really pretend? I like edits that are not afraid to let you know it's a fucking edit, right? There's subtle editing where you never realize it's there and the story just takes place, and that's good for what that needs to be. But I've always enjoyed things that cut on beat, that the edit itself makes you feel the energy of whatever that thing is, whatever the content of that is. So if it's a music video and it is about testosterone, then I want that edit to feel like fucking fuel. Like that's what I want it to feel like. And that you just lit a match and that's what it feels like. And it's not afraid to be so bombastic and in your face that you're recognizing the cuts, if that makes sense. So I come from more of that. I do love blitzkrieg, fast, flashy, quick kind of cuts, personally.
Gotcha. I'll have to ask for some example, or like, can you think of examples right now? Because I understand what you're talking about. I'm just, of course.
It depends on, my God, like all of the late '90s was so much of that. I'd say almost like a modern movie of that. God, there's so many. Requiem for a Dream would be one. The like Speed Racer, you probably saw elements of that in there with certain hyper cuts and things like that. Anything from Baz Luhrmann. I don't know if you know who he is. Anything from him. Moulin Rouge, Romeo and Juliet, Great Gatsby. That's heavy music video type cutting. So that's just a couple examples.
I'll have to look into that because I'm thinking like you bring up the '90s and stuff, and I'm just like, yes, the '90s.
Look at late '90s music videos, you'll get it. Just super quick cuts. Do you know the fastest edit of all time is Republica? Have you ever heard of the band called Republica?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Ready to Go. Do you know that song?
I may have heard of it, but it's not a band I listen to that much.
Okay. So I will send you just a link.
Sure.
And you can watch that now or later. Is there a private place I can drop that? Oh, private chat. Right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's up to you. Even if you mute it, you'll just see what I'm talking about very quickly.
Yeah, we'll bring this up.
You can mute it. You won't get copyright strike. I don't think you'll get strike. But just you'll know it when you see it.
I am already knowing exactly what you're talking about.
That's Blitzkrieg.
We're screen sharing this.
I don't even know if the computer can keep up with how fast this shit is.
Check this out. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, but it's going to get. This is nothing. Here we go.
Oh wow, yeah.
This is Blitzkrieg. It's like 10 cuts a second. If you go to the middle, and it should be Bonker Town.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So you're aware of that edit?
Yeah, I'm aware of this edit.
Yes.
Yeah. It almost makes me think of, and it possibly could be the same as well. The Move Along song from All American Rejects.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did like that stop motion where he's singing, but it's kind of like this. There's not much zooming in though. But yeah.
Yeah, well, no, that's a directing choice. But as far as the cuts, it is
cut,
like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's super fit. Now, obvious, I'm not saying every edit needs to be that, but what this song does with this kind of blitzkrieg editing is
Mhm.
you understand the energy of that song even without hearing the music. You get it. That's blitzkrieg. That's that rapid fire or intense, unafraid to show you flashes and all sorts of stuff. And I'd say if you want the most perfect movie that contains that philosophy of editing, and it's not necessarily fast, but it's Fight Club is the
Oh,
best version of that.
love Fight Club.
That's that philosophy. It's unafraid to show you this is a movie. We're cutting. We're doing things. We're not afraid to show you this is a movie. It's that philosophy. That same school.
Dude, Patty Quinn says,
Oh yeah,
this is so trippy and I'm not high.
yeah. There's an epileptic warning right there. Like that will kill you.
Komanga says music video sucks. Now this was from a while back.
I couldn't agree more with that statement. They do suck now.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just on. So like I mean with stuff I was editing and just noticing too a lot of I guess more so online content creation and stuff like that. They're trying to go the more simple route sort of thing to where everything is more, that modern, that slick, very basic, minimal type of thing that I've noticed at least. Have you, was that a rather easy, I'm assuming, I would hope that, was that a easier, an easy transition for you if you've ever done something like that from the blitzkrieg, like you just said, to something like that, to where it almost feels like you have to pull it back a little bit, or do you feel like, nah, it doesn't,
Well, so I don't do much editing anymore. Like that's not usually where I'm usually more pulled for directing or
Gotcha.
visual effects and things like that.
Gotcha.
But I still have edited. And look, editing nowadays is a lot easier because it's all essentially the philosophy has changed. Now what it really is just kind of like cut, zoom, cut, close up to this, a lot of essentially like you'll have a 2-shot, but you'll scale, one person to make them blow up in frame. Okay, there's your shot
that's
here.
what I was doing. Yep, that's what I
It's
do.
a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so what it's done is it's kind of that philosophy kind of came from taking clips from YouTube and stuff like that and making them into shorts. Like that whole thing kind of came from that movement of repurposing live content or repurposing shot footage that not necessarily was meant to be edited. You didn't have 3 cameras cutting this and this.
Yeah.
So it became, because you can't pull a lot from that, right? There's not a lot of options here. It's a flat shot, 3 people, 1 camera.
Gotcha.
You don't have many options, so it naturally became kind of slow and dull. Not dull, just slower paced. Yeah, hey, it makes my life easier if that's what we're doing, But you still can do a lot of fun things with that. Like you can still put your personality in there, maybe cutaways to memes that you're doing or whatever. But I do miss the days where you did that kind of blitzkrieg mentality of really making the audience feel the music that's underneath it, or really making people feel the conversation that's had by these crazy cuts that you're doing. But it also made people nauseous too. So I don't know how much the world really missed it.
Well, we're getting to that point here, so let's wind down as well. And I guess final question is, do you think that we are slowly going back where all this insanity and stuff like that, whether that's in video editing or video games or whatnot, do you feel that the tides are finally turning back to where that insanity is getting removed or being, repressed and kicked out and all that stuff? And, you feel like it's because a lot more people have decided to do more indie stuff or content creation and stuff like that. What are your final thoughts on that?
So the easy answer is I do think so. But the answer that no one likes to hear, and it's how I actually feel, is who gives a shit? Why are we relying on them? Like, I don't, that culture, fuck them and their culture. They can keep their culture. It's garbage. It's communistic. It's agenda driven. I know I sound like some, conspiracy guy, but no, I mean, just take all that bombasticness out of it. It's just clearly agenda driven nonsense. Okay. And they turned art into just propaganda. And the thing that I've been trying to tell people on the other side, and whatever your politics are, just anyone that disagrees with that thing, is fuck them, fuck Hollywood, fuck Disney, fuck all these people. It's time for us to make our stuff. So are the tides changing? I don't care, because we need to be making stuff now. We need to be the new voice. We need to be the new culture. The reason why we're in this situation is because our side didn't do anything. We never had our own voice. We never had our own films. We relied on hopefully that Disney will just make a movie one day with my values, right? Especially, let's say you're religious, that maybe one day there'll be something with some kind of values of my religion or my faith or my family, whatever that is. And I say, screw that all now. We need to be making the stuff. Let them have their thing, because look, the tides can change for now until it won't. Until well, we're lazy. We didn't build anything when we could have. And great. So, okay, Disney made a non-woke film. Now, 2 years later, we're right back to being a slave to that garbage. So I say, get out there. If you're an artist, if you're a content creator, whatever that is, make your own stuff with your own voice. Be as experimental as you possibly can. Make things that you strongly believe in, no matter what that is. Push for that. Don't care what other people are making. Only make what you want to make, because you never know that you're the next voice that's going to inspire other people to make incredible stuff. Don't look to others. Look to yourself and make that. That's what I would say.
Gay.
Just
100% gay.
No, that was a motivational speech right there. Really enjoyed it. Phoenix, brother, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Let the people know where they can find you and what's coming up and down the pipeline.
Thank you for having me. This is a lot of fun. Hopefully we can do it again soon.
Absolutely.
You can find me at PandaSub2000, pretty much on everything, right? But I primarily, as far as content, I do the live shows on Rumble. I'm not on YouTube. I personally am not a fan of Rumble's politics and things like that, so I'm not on there. But you can find me on X and Rumble, and we're going to be doing a couple of live shows hopefully this week. And you can also find, I also work for Side Scrollers, so definitely follow them on Rumble and YouTube. Great content over there. We're making some great new shows, and they're great people that are trying to build. Speaking of new culture, they're trying to build their own culture out there. So I'm very excited to be a part of that little movement that's happening. So,
absolutely, well said. Well said. I might have misheard, but I think you mentioned Rumble when you meant to say YouTube. But
so I'm part of yeah. So if I did, I may have had a brain fart. I'm on Rumble, not YouTube.
Yeah, and it could have been me that had the brain fart, but
yeah,
I was
not
like,
on YouTube.
Yeah, I think you were saying Rumble, and I was like, I think he means YouTube, but I could be wrong too.
Boop.
Who cares? If we had alcohol right next to each other, we could just say that, it was just that.
Yeah, it was that. Totally that.
It was totally that. Patty Quinn said, side scrollers are the best. Indeed, they are. Check them out. Check out Panda, of course. Well, that is all that I have for you guys tonight. Like I said, Phoenix, it was amazing to talk to you. Amazing to also nerd out about video games and more importantly, the editing stuff, because I actually found that quite fascinating too, because it's something that I resonated with. So
yeah,
why I wanted to have you on, and
hopefully you're gonna make some great stuff. And like I said, I think while we're here real fast, I say you love doing it. Start making some content, whatever that is, whatever that can be, even if it's just an intro, whatever, cutaways, things like that, where you show that passion of yours in that hobby that you love so much. And the great thing is that people are gonna notice that, and then you might get recognized from that, and then you never know. So put it out there.
I salute that, sir. Thank you very much. All righty. Well, that is all for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for hanging with us tonight. We were on YouTube, Rumble, and X. If you enjoy the show, make sure to like and subscribe, punch the thumbs up, and ring that bell to get notified when we go live, usually 8 p.m. Pretty much all week. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do the Power Up podcast, either with a guest or solo. And then Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we do game streaming. And then over the weekend weekend. Technically, this would be the weeknights, the weekends, like early in the afternoon and all that stuff. But humbled and blessed that you guys took the time to hang out with me tonight. Again, go support PandaSub2000. Okay, and with that, I will catch you guys on the flip side. Have a good rest of your night. Take care. Adios, folks.